got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi, y'all. It's amazing. It is Friday already. It's Friday. In L.A., in the USA, it's already been Friday in some parts of the world. They are starting to get closer to Saturday. And in some cases, they're in Saturday already. They're already there. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 778-888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week. Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why? Why are you afraid of anyone? Do you ever ask yourself that? No, because most people don't question themselves. They question everybody else except themselves. Isn't that amazing? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, no matter where you are or what you're doing, even if you're doing your little jihad thing today, while you're doing your jihad thing today, because the Muslims have been asked to do that today, you could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad anywhere in the world by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad anywhere in the world. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com and cozy.tv/JLP, cozy.tv/JLP, where Christ is King. Christ is King. All right? Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and do all that. All right? From day of rage to day of responsibility. This is supposed to be a day of rage. And this is Friday the 13th, so it's the day of rage for the Muslims. What? So to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Rebuildingtheman.com. You can go there. Or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. Nick was born on Friday the 13th. What the? No wonder he's an anchor baby. He was born on Friday the 13th. So today is Friday. And every Friday is Open Line Friday. Every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Every Friday is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
My mom passed. And on her deathbed, I said, can I tell you something, woman? I've never been married.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted you to be my number one girl. I never got married because I knew my mom needed me.
All I can say is I'm sorry, Mom. And I'm sorry for every time I've been bad or did something. I loved her. And I even asked her to marry me one day.
American singer R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison by a U.S. federal court in New York.
What's one misconception that you think that you would want for people to understand about your dad?
Well, one thing I want people to understand, I'm only going to say this as respectfully as I can. I'm not answering questions about my father.
You know, wanting a father, not having a father, first of all,
it's not about him, it's about me.
It's automatically something missing in your life.
I'm just here supporting my baby. She's the heir to the throne, and a lot of people think, oh, well, when you say the heir to the throne, are you talking about R. Kelly's throne? No, she has her own throne. She's a queen and a princess. She's the heir to the throne that her mother is building, my empire that I am building. Thank you very much.
Uniting the races with truth, also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Nice. I had not seen that. That's the anchor baby? Amazing. Thank you, Nick. That's amazing. Every human being is missing something and they don't know what it is. And they're looking outside thinking it's that. If they should join groups, if they should be mad at someone about something, if they should try to get more money, if they should become popular, if they just live here or live there, it's all ego. How many college degrees can you get? When really what they're looking for is the love of a father. As I said yesterday and been saying for so long, you got to overcome the love of a mama. The mama's love is not special. It will kill you. And it is killing every human being. That's why, because it's not her love, it's the love of evil, the spirit of evil in the mama. She can overcome it too if she returns to the Father. The devil has played the biggest trick game on human beings I ever seen. And that is to make them believe that mama's love is real. And it's not. I was thinking about reflecting and thinking about and paying attention to all this mess that's going on now with the killing of the war in Israel and in our country too and around the world. And I realized from hearing some of the talk and really paying attention without decision making, I realized that the whole world is being duped right now, and they're taking sides. And what I realized is that this whole war with the Jews and the Christian is about taking out Christianity and Judaism. Christianity and Judaism is the most hated religion on this side of heaven. And I noticed that over in Israel, they're calling the Jews occupiers or something like that. And they're doing the same thing in America. They're calling the Christian occupiers of America. indigenous people on this land, they say. And it's the same thing over in Israel. They're saying the Palestinians own the land. And over here in America, they're calling it white colonizers or something like that. And the whole deal is about wiping out the infidels, the Christians and the Jews. And you are a fool if you don't see that. That's what's happening. And you're walking around like an idiot, mad at the Jews, mad. You shouldn't even be mad at the Palestinians or anyone, because anger is what deceives you. You won't really see what's going on because they have what is called a propaganda thing going on in the schools, in some churches, in everywhere, everything. And the fools fall for the propaganda, and they get angry, they start to attack people, and they miss what's really going on. It's about wiping out the Christians and the Jews. And Judaism, really. It's about the religion. It's not even about the people. But they think that if you wipe out the people of Christianity and Judaism, they're going to wipe out the spirit of it. And the spirit of other people hate the spirit of Christianity and Judaism. It's all about that. It ain't about the Jews taking the land, because the Jews have given a lot of land back. And they ain't doing nothing with the land. They're just sitting there mad, looking at everybody else trying to figure out how to kill more Jews. Same thing in America. We have given the Indians land and everything, and they still mad. It's because the controllers of evil is pushing lies, and the blind people fall right into it. And they attack one another like they know what they're talking about, and they don't. They're mad at others. They literally go on TV and places and attack one another, and they have no clue as to what they're doing. In their mind, they think they're right, but it's a spiritual battle. And I've said once, I've said 1,000 times that Christianity is the best religion on this side of heaven, in that it's the only religion that I'm aware of that says that you must admit you're wrong and be born again of right. You need a right nature. No other religion that I'm aware of that does that. And every other religion are fighting one another because they don't want to see that. You even have Christians. Think about this. You have Christians attacking Jews, and Jews attacking Christians. You know you got to be out of your mind. And in the attack, you forget that it's about getting rid of the infidels. And the ones who want to get rid of the infidel have infiltrated the countries, the Western world, where Christianity is established. They never stop complaining until they get what they want, and you jump on board like an idiot and help them do it. And when they're done with that, they're going to turn on you. You get angry, you get blind, and it feels personal to you. And you feel so proud attacking people. You can't wait for the day of attack. It's totally insane, but I understand it because people are insane until they overcome the imagination, until they stop getting caught up and pull away from the crowd and go up high in consciousness, go high and watch what's going on below. You have people attacking one another that never done anything to each other. It's crazy. And they have no clue. But if you pay attention, I was looking at some of these university kids, or stupid kids, young adult, but still have the mindset of a child. They're out there attacking the Christians and the Muslims, attacking the Jews on these campuses, and they're talking about occupiers. You don't know that. And they've been brainwashed because even their white kids are attacking the Jews, and they're taking the sides of the Palestinian. And Palestinians don't like Christians. They don't like white people. Hamas don't like white people. But the teachers in the university have brainwashed the children, and you pay for it. And you pay for it. It's the same way family members attack one another. It's no different. It's the same way husbands and wives attack one another without even knowing or realizing they're just living in their dumb, dark imagination. They really believe what they're doing is true, and they get a thrill from it, and you can't stop them. You can't convince them that they're wrong because they got the thrill of it now, and they want more of that thrill of attacking. It's all evil. But the one thing you can bank on this one. They want to take out the infidels. And in their minds, the Christians and the Jews are infidels. They say Jerusalem is the small Satan and America the big Satan. And the mission is to take them out. It ain't about nothing else but that. Everything else that they say is about is made up to draw in the idiots, to help them fight the war against the Christians and infidels. I would suggest you wake up before it's too late. There's a storm a-coming. You better be trying to go home within. And I know what it is to be blind. I understand that. But I also know you can overcome it if you take charge of your own life and stop going along with what somebody else said and getting all excited and looking silly. And people can see that you don't know what you're talking about. You're just excited. And you're trying to get a thrill while destroying yourself. There are people in my country, in America, that are supposed to be Christians. They are helping the Allahu Akbar people kill them. And they don't know, just like Black Lives Matter turned on the whites when the whites participated in the riots and the destruction of America, they turned on any white person that said or did anything different than them. And the whites became afraid, and they had to say exactly what Black Lives Matter said. No white lives matter, just Black Lives Matter. And that's what's going to happen with these people who have taken the side of Allahu Akbar. You're going to find yourself having to do and say what they do because you're stupid. You're following them right now. You're going against your own interest. This is about destroying Christianity and Judaism. It ain't about occupying the land. I have some videos coming up where over in Palestine, they were giving money to build water pipes and things like that. Because they're like, we ain't got no water. We want some water. Allahu Akbar want water. Allahu Akbar. And instead of building water lines, they built bomb lines. They took the money to build not pipe for water, but they took the water pipes and made them into weapons. And they're proud of it. And now they're saying the Jews cut off the water, but they're not telling you why. And you're going around saying, oh, the Jews cut off the water. It's crazy. I was do what you want for, but stop being dumb. Stop joining the crowd. Why are you afraid to stand alone and know the truth? And the truth comes from within, because the outer truth is deceiving you. It's a lie. It's not the truth. I remember when Black Lives Matter were out there rioting and destroying people's properties and tearing down flags and statues and monuments, and were making the white people get on their knees and kiss their feet and doing all kind of crazy things. I'm like, no, these people are wicked. These are evil people. They're not doing this to help the blacks. They can get two hooves and a holler about the blacks. It's about themselves. Just like the Palestinians and the Allahu Abba people, about themselves. They don't even care about their own, the folks that live in their town. I saw a report this morning where Netanyahu is throwing a bunch of people, you know, they go flying over the town there. They put out a report to the citizens that live there in Palestine. Y'all need to get out. A bomb is coming. Leave Palestine. Go over to Egypt or somewhere. And Allah people won't let them go. It's being reported by other Muslims over in Palestine that the Allah people want that just the regular folks leave their apartment because they want to use them. They want them to be blown up into bombs so they can use it as propaganda. And you take a side. You the fool. You take a side, you the fool. And I remember telling you that Black Lives Matter is a evil, worse than KKK, radical, socialist, communist organization that was founded by a bunch of fat, black radical lesbians. That's who they said they are. I didn't say it. They said it. I'm going to repeat what they said. And yet you let them destroy the country. And now they're saying that all the money you gave them, they're using for their own personal use, according to reports. According to Wikipedia, Melina Abdullah is the co-founder of the Los Angeles chapter of Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter Grassroots. Watch this from Fox.
We're on live. Your reaction to the verdict.
Can I take this off?
Sure.
Okay. Well, we are allowing ourselves to feel a moment of relief and a little bit of celebration over the power of the people. We know that the millions of people who rose up all around the globe after George Floyd's life was stolen, that the reason that Derek Chauvin was tried and now convicted is because of our activism. That it's not only about a conviction for Derek Chauvin, but an entire rotten system of policing, right?
Abolish the police. Would you go that far?
You know, I would go that far. The system of policing that hails from slave catching is absolutely unjust.
Abolish the police and replace them with what, if anything?
The second side of abolition is building what it is we want. So,
amazing. All word but lies. All lies. It's all about herself. Replacing it with what we want. And all they want is hell and destruction so they can get money and so-called power for themselves. Look at the results. Look at the results of it. And they always use slavery as an example so y'all can fall asleep and fall for it. That has nothing to do with today. Zero. And that woman can care less about George Floyd. How do you care about one man, but you don't care about the rest of the people that's being shot down and robbed and steal and killed by blacks? Other black people, every day, every hour. And you fall for it, just like you're falling for this whole thing that's happening now with Israel and Palestine. I understand it when you're in your head. I understand the anger, and you simply can't see what you're doing. And when you're caught up in your imagination, you believe into a lie, and no one can convince you that you're wrong. But you better come out because you're wrong. You're being used to destroy Christianity and Judaism. You will be left with nothing. You will be left with nothing. And then they'll turn on you. Because you're going to be so subject to them, you're going to be afraid to disagree. You help destroy any resemblance of your own God. If you took on the Allahu Abba God. Foster reporting that Black Lives Matter grassroots cited clear parallel between the black people oppressed in America and the Palestinian oppressed by Israel. Look at this photo and listen to this.
Black Lives Matter grassroots stands in solidarity with our Palestinian family, who are currently resisting 57 years of settler colonialism and apartheid. As black people continue the fight to end militarism and mass incarceration in our own communities, let us understand the resistance in Palestine as an attempt to tear down the gates of the world's largest open-air prison. As a radical black organization grounded in abolitionist ideals, we see clear parallels between black and Palestinian people.
There's no parallel at all because black people are not oppressed in America. That's a lie. There's not one black person in America that is oppressed. And you're going to take the side of a group that Black Lives Matter takes the side of? When will you learn, idiots? And most people are only doing it because somebody else is doing it. They're not even paying attention to see what they want. They're not paying attention to see what they want. Isn't that amazing? Whenever the popular person goes, and if that person is getting attention, that's the side you're going to take because you want to go out there and get attention too. Black Lives Matter is an evil group. And Black Lives Matter is taking the side of the Palestinians, and you're following them. Look like that alone would tell you, oh, stop. Press the brakes. Hit the brakes. Black Lives Matter and taking the side of these folks, I'm out of here. If you don't have sense enough to see for yourself, at least see that. Black Lives Matter is an evil organization. They don't care. Why aren't they down in the black communities stopping the black people from killing one another? You don't hear anything about that. And if you bring it up, they're going to say, oh, that's due to slavery. (888-775-3773) 888-77-JESSE. When will you wake up? What will it take? Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. Okay, welcome back. It's mind-blowing. I understand how the mind works. 888-7753, 773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. Quick announcement. The Hake Report. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And James Hake is on fire. He ain't got that good hair for nothing. And then after the Hake Report, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. I had a very interesting conversation with Muhammad Ali. He's the Muslim Lantern YouTube channel. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You're not a Muslim. It's just a religion that you belong to.
No, I know I'm a Muslim. I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that Christianity is not the truth.
Amazing.
I love the people based on the actions that they take.
My God, in order to be of Him, we have to love all.
Do you believe your God loves Hitler?
Yes.
So that's the difference between our God and yours.
Do you love those Muslims who cut off people's hair and put them on the internet?
Absolutely not.
Does a chicken have lips?
Chicken have? Is it the chicken has lips? I don't know.
Amazing. At 12 p.m. today, Pacific time, thefallerstate.tv. And you can support the Fallen State by going to thefallerstate.tv/donate. You can go to locals.com as well. Or you can call 800-411-BOND. And then at 4 p.m., let me check first. I believe the anchor may be at 4 today. At 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, flying high. At 4 p.m. Pacific time. Not on pot, not on fentanyl, not on cocaine, but a natural high from God. Amazing. a natural high from God. Energy on loan from God at 4 p.m. But then church on Sunday for everybody. If you're in the LA area, come on down. If not, you can watch it live at rebuildingtheman.com/church at 11 a.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right? Before I get to call, I just want to finish. It's so important with this. I was talking to my audio engineer a few minutes ago, and what I realized is that what human beings don't know, they're not clear about it. There is good and evil in every culture, every one of them. And in those cultures, every culture, there is a division. They're divided. Some people are on the side of good, some are on the side of evil. For example, in the Jewish world, there are some Jews that don't believe Jesus exists or in him in some kind of way. But there are other Jews who do believe it. Jews for Jesus. Jews for Jesus. And they don't agree with the Jews that don't believe that Jesus is the way back to the Father. So there's an argument going on with that. I know both sides of the Jews. I have friends who are on both sides. Jews that don't believe in the Jesus and Jews that do. And they argue with one another. Can you get into dumb when you take sides? You thinking that all Jews or all people do the same thing? They don't. There are some Christian Muslim people. They're not about the Allahu Akbar thing. They're hated with the Allahu Akbar thing, and they're fighting. In America, there are black and white people who don't believe, and at one time used to believe Jesus was the way back to the Father. And then they've been convinced now that Jesus was a Jew, so he's not back, and now they've changed. And so now you have the Christians who still believe it, Jesus is the way back, fighting against those who don't believe it. It has nothing to do with color, folks. Stop being so dumb. Just because somebody else said they show you some proof of one side, they're not showing you both sides. In every culture, there's a fight. And that's why you're not supposed to take on ownership of a religion or a person or anything, because the fight starts. And you think your little fight is solving the problem, and it's not. It's not. You need to get out of the fight. Lay your weapons down and stop fighting so you can be free. There are blacks in America who say other blacks are from poverty due to slavery. Racism holding them back. And those blacks who are saying that got buku money. And they get the money by lying to you while you're out there acting like a fool. They're gathering so-called power and wealth. And they're laughing at you acting like a fool. I've seen that. I've been in meetings with some of these so-called black leaderships. And you should hear what they say about the blacks who are acting out. But they still tell the blacks the lies, the propaganda, because it gives them heads over the blacks. And they're getting money and power. Perceived power, not real power. And so it doesn't matter if they're Jews or Gentile, what. You're going to find crooked people in all races of people. And you've just been so convinced that you're right. And I've noticed that the people who are accusing, they hate the Jews for not liking Jesus. They don't realize hating the Jews for not liking Jesus is hatred. You're no different. You're mad at the Jews that the Jews don't want to accept Jesus Those that don't, there are some do. You're mad at them and you're attacking them, you know better. Because if you have real love, you would not be attacking, you will understand. Christ didn't attack, he understood. And if people going around getting a joy, hating the Jews that don't like Jesus, that means you don't like Jesus either. You just think that you do, but you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't attack your fellow man. Just because they don't understand or agree with something that you do. But you think you're right, and you can't be convinced that you're not right. And you look for all the wrong that someone else is doing, but you don't look at the wrong that you're doing. Because you're convinced, Satan has convinced you that you're right. I never imagined that growing up, I never thought that I would hear blacks turn against Christianity. I remember I used to do a lot of talks about, even in the jails around this country, the Louis Farrakhan folks, so-called Muslim folks, they're in the prisons brainwashing the black Christians and bringing them over to their side by telling them that Christianity is the white man's religion. And I'm like, what? And now they're on the side of Louis Farrakhan wanting to fight with the Christians. And they grew up in Christian families, so-called. I want you to hear Patrisse, this is from Wikipedia. I want you to hear Patrisse Cullors. She's an active and co-founder of Black Lives Matter. Here she is talking about Israel. Watch this.
The other thing I'll say is Palestine is our generation South Africa. If we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed. We have to be a part of Palestinian solidarity.
And you've taken sides with her, with evil. It's their South Africa. This woman lying through her teeth. It's about money and perceived power for her, and you're going along with it. And you're doing it with a smile. You're supposed to stand apart from the world so you can see for yourself, no matter if Jesse said it, Jesse's mama said it, anyone said it. You're still supposed to see for yourself, to know that it's true. Otherwise, you're just repeating what someone else has said and what they've shown you, and you don't see it for yourself. It's so hard to get people to understand that because they're so lost in their thoughts thinking that they're right. Because somebody else showed them proof of something else. And they're running with that. Who's going to lead if you're going to always be a follower? Christ even said it wasn't him that you were following, but it's the Spirit of the Father in him. So you're not following Christ. You're following God. It was the Spirit of God that led him, Christ. Patrisse is an evil female, and you have joined forces against the Jews with Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives Matter hate you. They don't even like you. They don't even like black people because they did. They would be doing in there trying to help to point the right way to them. They can care less. And the blacks are killing one another every day. The young people, carjacking, drugged out, angry. Our mission is to rebuild the family. Their mission, Black Lives Matter mission, is to destroy the family. Watch this from Black Lives Matter.
What we believe. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable.
Amazing. All lives, a village. It doesn't take a village to raise children. It takes a daddy and a mama. And Black Lives Matter can care less about your children or you. And they have proven that. These people are Marxists. They said they were trained that way. I'm not saying something that I heard it from them. And you're taking the side of Black Lives Matter. It's interesting, and I understand it because when you can't see, you do it. You take the side of other people, and you don't know if it's true or not, and you get caught up in your intellect, and you run around like you truly know that it's true, not realizing clearly that the battle is good versus evil, and you're going to find that in all cultures. It's a split. And most of the time, more on the side of evil than good, because most people hate good and they love evil. And they say, well, the Jews got all the money. The Jews own Hollywood. The Jews own this. And the Jews push this. And so do you. White people push those things. Black people push those things. And you're going to be jealous and mad at the Jew because they got more money than you. Why don't you get your own money? Why don't you stop comparing yourself to them and do your own thing? And then you won't be mad at the Jew for doing their own thing. It ain't their fault that they beat you. It's like the blacks mad at the whites because they said white people own everything. White people don't let the blacks in. They own the businesses. They own this and they own that. They won't let us in, they say. And then when one black pull away, they start doing it on their own, the other blacks chase that person. If it wasn't for the civil rights movement, you wouldn't be doing this. That's their own insecurity. They're speaking about themselves. They can't let one person escape because it reminds them that they could escape too if they wanted to. That's how it is with the Jews. You're jealous of the Jews. But you're broke, almost cuss.
What the?
And then now you have some young white people mad at the Jews because they said the Jews own everything. And they forgot the blacks are mad at them, the whites, because they said the Jews own everything. I mean, the whites own everything. So they got to lower the standard to let the blacks in. Why don't you figure out how did they do that and do it for yourself? Oh, you can't because you're jealous. You're sitting in the city of David looking across the road mad at them. Instead of dressing up the city of David, showing your talent, you ain't doing nothing. What a sad way to live. But I understand it. Black Lives Matter is not about family. They're about themselves. Where's Patrisse now? They got all the money they can get according to the reports. Where are they now? And you're still broke and suffering and mad. And want to tear down somebody else's business and destroy their families and everything. You're mad. When will you stop being a fool? After the purpose of their mission got out, they removed it. Black Lives Matter later removed this section of from their website. The section that Hassan just read to you. It ain't there no more. They're like, oh! America is not black people, South Africa, apartheid. That's a lie. And look, White people did the same thing in South Africa. The blacks was complaining and doing nothing. In their own little home area, they did nothing. And they marched and they danced and they rallied. They got Nelson Mandela. They did everything that the blacks are doing here. And white people said, okay, y'all can have it. Darn, I'm tired of fighting with you, begging and blaming. Take South African City. We're going to go to the farmland. And the whites left. The blacks destroyed the cities. Now they want to go to the farmland and destroy them. That's what's going to happen with those who are hating the Jews, too. Don't you know it's something wrong to be blaming? Don't you know you should be in control of your own life if that's it? The New York Post is reporting that a central tenet of Marxism is the dismantling of the nuclear family structure. Patrisse Cullors described herself as a fellow co-founder and trained Marxist. This interview, and a trained Marxist, that's from New York Post. I interviewed Patrisse Cullors on my radio show, JustLeePeterson.com, a while back. Watch this.
I have with me Patrisse Marie Cullors. She is an artist, organizer, and freedom fighter on the Black Lives Matter team. Patrisse, welcome to the show and Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you. We're going to be really trying to pass resolutions at city councils and county governments as well as in Congress to push forward a model that would really look at how we can figure out how our communities can be resourced. That's not just about resourcing law enforcement.
So you're using this occasion to get more government finance or programs into the black community?
Exactly.
But no, not the lack of too much government support has devalued black Americans.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think there hasn't been enough support.
Do you support capitalism?
I'm not understanding your question.
Do you support capitalism or not? She hung up. She hung up. James, get her back. See if she'll come back. Call her again. Here is the chicken song from Patrisse Marie Cullors. Black Lives Matter. One of the founders.
That's what I was doing radio. Amazing. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats and all that. 888-7753-773. I got to take a quick break. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, the hate news. And then I have a question for my experts. I just thought of, because I was talking to the side, it made me think of a question. And I want to know what my experts think about it too. But I got to take a break. Hake is coming on Hate News. When I come back for your phone calls and super we have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Friday the 13th of October, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back. The lines are full. He will be back to your calls. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Israel has called on all civilians, according to Commie Nonsense Network, in Gaza City to leave their homes and head south today, ahead of a potential ground invasion in response to Hamas's terror attacks that killed more than 1,300 people. The UN said that an order for mass evacuation was impossible without major humanitarian consequences. Israel has amassed more than 300,000 reservists, as I told you yesterday, along the southern border for its possible intensified military operation, but Hamas militants told Palestinians living in the besieged Gaza Strip not to leave their homes. Meanwhile, the sleepy Joe Biden administration said they'll begin chartering flights today from Israel to destinations in Europe. Wow. As officials scramble to get Americans stranded, quote-unquote Americans, stranded in the war-ravaged country back home to the United States. It is the next big thing. Protests have broken out all over the world. Jordan, Spain, Brazil, across the United States in support of Palestinians and in support of Israelis, gathering outside embassies, government buildings, and lame-o college campuses. In recent days, many of the world's most recognizable landmarks have been illuminated in the blue and white colors of Israel's flag to show solidarity, which is a communist buzzword. But to be fair, Trump mentioned it too, with Israel. Fears of violence may spread. Nearly a week into the Israel-Hamas war, there are fears it'll spread across the region, beyond the region. A former Hamas leader called for global homo protests today. In a recorded statement to Reuters, Khaled Meshal urged the Arab world to head to the squares and streets to show support for Palestinians. He also said to all the scholars who teach jihad, this is a moment of the application of theories. What does that mean? It's not clear. Social media posts have fanned fears that his latest statement is calling for violence against Jews. But jihad is a complex word, say the ladies at the Skim, with broad meaning that comes down to context. Literally, the word jihad means struggle, says the ladies at the Skim. One expert explained it as the greater jihad is the struggle to be a good Muslim, such as getting out of bed for prayers at dawn, such a struggle. Another expert has said radicals have used loopholes when using the word jihad to justify violence. This is how the terms jihad and jihadists have become widely equated with terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, and maybe Hamas. The term still inspires an enormous amount of fear because of past acts of terror committed by terrorists claiming jihad. The Black on the Inside White House reportedly said that they're aware of calls for protests, but is not aware of any credible threats. Some Jewish schools in NYC are reportedly closing as a precaution. Cities across the United States, New York, D.C., boosting security. Meanwhile, CARE, the Muslim organization in America, has said that there's been a rise in targeted attacks against students expressing support for Palestinians or because of their Muslim so-called faith. NYPD is investigating at least 2 other incidents of people being assaulted for showing Palestinian support. Columbia University closed off the public after an Israeli student was assaulted. What a big mess. And the House Speaker, a House Speaker update. Meanwhile, in America, Steve Scalise abruptly withdrew from the Speaker's race. So does that mean Jim Jordan is going to get the votes? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. They are facing another, hopefully another government shutdown in November. That would be great, in my opinion, but I'm no expert. Oh, yes, I am an expert. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
have to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what's been wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53. 773 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Jesse. My biblical question for this week. Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why? Why? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, no matter where you are or what you're doing, wherever you are, you can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad. You can podcast it later, but you can listen live, no matter if you're busy, right? You can't sit and watch it, by going to the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. Don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X, better known as Twitter, but now X. And Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. Amazing. Amazing. I want to go to Jonathan, a first-time caller out of Northern Ireland. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Jonathan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's absolutely amazing.
Jonathan, I'm sorry. Hold on, buddy. I forgot something. It is Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached. Because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he been smoking pot.
My mom passed. And on her deathbed, I said, can I tell you something, woman? I've never been married.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted you to be my number one girl. I never got married because I knew my mom needed me.
All I can say is I'm sorry, Mom. And I'm sorry for every
Mama.
time I've been bad or did something. I loved her. and I even asked her to marry me one day.
American singer R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison by a U.S. federal court in New York.
What's one misconception that you think that you would want for people to understand about your dad?
Well, one thing I want people to understand, I'm only going to say this as respectfully as I can. I'm not answering questions about my father.
You know, wanting a father, not having a father, first of all.
Every human being wants a father.
It's about me.
It's automatically something missing in your life.
I'm just here supporting my baby. She's the heir to the throne, and a lot of people think, oh, well, when you say the heir to the throne, are you talking about R. Kelly's throne? No, she has her own throne. She's a queen and a princess. She's the heir to the throne that her mother is building, my empire that I am building. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Uniting the races. Oh, God. Also rebuilding the family. By rebuilding the man. A mother's love is so special. It's something that you can't deny. It's a child of love that stays with you until the day you die. A mama's love will kill you. Jonathan, thank you, man, for holding on. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, sir.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to call you to thank you for spreading God's word, and it completely changed my life.
Amazing. In what way? Can you give me an example?
Well, I'm from Protestant and Catholic land, Belfast, Northern Ireland. And I grew up amongst people, men, taking out their mama's love on everybody else and calling it civil war, you know, between the Catholics and the Protestants. When you look back on it, they were using politics to just take out their mama's anger on each other.
Yes.
And I grew up through that, and then I grew up not realizing that my mum's love was very damaging.
Yep.
And I'd say a lot of people might have suffered more than me, but I definitely did suffer. And the Holy Spirit was glimmering and shining through, because there was the hand of God there on the shoulder at times, but I didn't know what it was. And then, fast forward, I'm 33 now. I was an intellectual Christian for a few years after being what I thought was an atheist for most of my 20s, but I was still an intellectual Christian, and I couldn't put my finger on it until I listened to you.
Amazing. Well, Jonathan, stay with it. Have you given the silent prayer a chance yet?
Every day since you talked about it. Every day since.
And is that helping you?
Oh, it's completely changed. It's changed my daily life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's changed my wife's life as well. She's still staying with it, but I can see the change in her too.
Right on. Absolutely.
So we're about to have our first baby in the next few weeks.
Nice.
So she's still wrapping her head around the in-laws and keeping them at an arm's length. She's still wrapping her head around that, but she understands.
Right on. Well, Jonathan, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you and your wife to stay with the silent prayer, because the road to hell, the road to heaven through hell, is a mess, and it runs deep, and there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we don't see about ourselves that's in us. But if you stay with it, the deeper you go down into hell of the ego, the clearer things become. And it's going to be amazing.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
What the?
That's right. What the?
What the? Stand up.
And it's the same spirit all around the world. These fights that human beings are imposing on one another, they don't know, as I didn't know at one time, that they're fighting in hell. They're fighting over nonsense, stupid stuff, and they feel good. And they feel good about it, and they think they're fighting for good, and they're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I understand. I used to do the protest, fight, and all that mess. I laid my weapon down, and I found peace. Stay with it, Jonathan. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, when I sat down with my mum, she did the confused and defensive response, but once she said that I disregarded her reaction, I disregarded it, and it was pretty much straight sailing from there. My dad's a legend. I love my dad. He was weak because he lost his father early on, but whenever I spoke to him about all these issues, he knew right away, and we had an amazing day after that. And yeah, he's just such a cool guy. So I completely trust my dad. Don't trust my mum just yet, but yeah, life-changing.
Right on, man. Well, if your wife is working on her stuff and you're working on yourself, your new baby will have nothing but love and peace on earth. The baby will not know the hell that you and your wife have gone through, because now, if you guys stay with it, you're going to pass love down to the baby and not anger.
Yeah, and her parents, so my mum hides behind the niceness.
Yep.
Her mum would be more quiet and obvious in her anger. And her father was openly angry. So my dad was passive and weak. Her dad was openly angry, and he passed away suddenly last year. So my wife had a few different issues to work through, versus me. But it's the same spirit, like you say. It's the same spirit. So, and my mum, I just realized how manipulative that niceness is.
Amazing. Nice, man. Well, Jonathan.
So, yeah, thanks. I don't want to idolize you, because after the first week or two, I was like, oh, I love this guy. But I was very aware myself that I don't want to idolize Jesse, but I do love you and appreciate you as a brother in Christ, and I'm going to listen to you for as long as you're still here.
Right on, man. I appreciate that, and call me again. Amazing call.
I would love to call you back with my wife present, if that would be cool.
I would love that. Absolutely.
Well, have a great day, sir.
You too, buddy. Nice.
My man.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's the same spirit that rose Christ from the dead can dwell in you. It dwells in you. And the same spirit that took Satan to hell dwells in you. Which one will you serve? Which one? 888-775-3773. Let me go down to Sweet Home, Alabama, and talk to Zach. Zach, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning once again, Brother Jesse.
Good morning, Zach.
How are you?
All is well. Thank you for calling.
Yes, sir. All is well, because God is good.
All the time.
Amen. Well, I would just like to take some time to answer your biblical question this morning.
Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
Well, to answer that question, I'm not afraid of anyone on this earth. And to tell you why, it's because of the circumstances and my personal experiences through this journey so far in my 36 years. All that requires me to be courageous, and I didn't develop that overnight. It happened through really the past 22 years of my 36 years. I've had my back broken. I've had my leg broken. I've had internal organs ruptured. I've survived a terrible case of spinal meningitis. I've been attacked verbally, physically, every single way that one can. And that right there has revealed to me that there is a God, and He will protect and He will provide if we allow Him. And once you realize that and understand that, you see that there's no reason to fear anyone on this earth. My mindset and where I'm at with the Father God is Mommy Hamas could come up right now to my door and knock on it, and all I got to say is those betas better have machetes in their hands, because I'm ready to lay my head on the chopping block for the Father, for the kingdom.
Oh, amazing. I appreciate you respond. I want to respond, but I gotta wait. But I definitely
understand.
appreciate you responding to the biblical question. That and stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. It gets better. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to continue to stay present, be
Yes.
humble,
Yep.
and grateful. And as long as I do that, the rest will be revealed.
Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you, Zach.
You're very welcome, Jesse. Thank you, sir. You have a nice weekend.
You too, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. Super chat. Super.
Someone bought you a coffee. My sister recently got married, and as we were all being seated to order food, I went up in front of a. I already
You
said
read
this
that
one.
before.
I don't know why it's.
He black.
No, it's not. It's not my fault.
Oh no, it's somebody else's fault. It always is.
And it's interesting because there's what in the world? Like it was repeated. I saw another one that was requested too. Anyway, thank you, someone. Marcus bought a coffee. Thank you, Jesse, and everyone at Bond for the wisdom and love. This was the other one was days ago. Jesse, I want to say thank you, says Drew with 3 coffees. I am learning to doubt every thought has truly been helpful. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you all.
Soul Conscious. Bought you a coffee. Jesse, I smoked all week on this biblical question.
Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
My answer is I was afraid of people because the devil was operating through me. Still, this day, I can see that spirit creeping on me. Amazing.
Amazing. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Canadian David is a monthly supporter over on Rumble.
You gotta know how to rumble.
You can create lies with facts, he says.
That's for sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Puke Bucket with a generous donation via Rumble Rant. Thank you, sir. He says that with his biblical question answer.
Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
Because you have low testosterone. Beta!
But thank you.
He wasn't talking about himself, though. I noticed he put the word you in there.
I put my 2 cents in on Sunday.
Someone bought you 10 coffees. I confronted my mother and father in person and told them apologized for resenting them. I am pretty consistent with the silent prayer and watching my thoughts and feelings continuously throughout the day, but I'm still obsessed with sex, he says. Or she says. It runs my life and I am constantly having one-night stands and crave new sexual encounters. Why is my hatred for my mother not resolved, and what can I do about it? I hardly see anger rise in me anymore, but I know it must be there because of my sex addiction and lack of love and care for the women and he says, screw, quote unquote. You say that word so I can say it. And that's the end of his super chat.
Why are you defending it? I haven't said a word.
The guilty conscience cries out. Making me blush.
Number one, from this day forward, don't call it a sex addiction. You give it a name and you identify with it. There is a way when you wake up in consciousness, you got to communicate, right? So you can communicate without identify with. But it's not a sex addiction. It's something that awakened inside of you when you resented your mother. And it became a part of your nature, which is the abnormal nature. And now that you have gotten and forgiven, you're doing the silent prayer, and you're going through that hell dying from that old nature, and you're gonna, if you stay with it, you're gonna wake up to a new nature, which is of God. And so it's not you addicted to sex. It's that spirit, which is the old nature, which is the nature of evil, of the devil, that is addicted. It's not you at all. So stop identifying with it as though it is you. All right? No more I'm addicted. Don't say that ever again, because you give it life and you identify with it, and the struggle becomes, it starts. But if you didn't identify with it, it'll just disappear. It really, really will. All right? Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're on your way. It is working. And all these old things that you see in your body and mind and emotions are not you. It's pure evil. Thank you. I wish you well.
Ginger Dill bought you a coffee. Jesse, tell me about the good old days.
When lovers never, ever went away.
Fathers never went away.
Fathers never went away. It was amazing.
I don't know any of the other lyrics.
Nice.
I can't think of them.
Thank you.
Speaking of songs, Priscilla from Houston bought a coffee. Jesse, I would like you to listen to the song Mother by John Lennon. Let me know what you think about it. Which was, that maybe, she may have asked again.
Ask!
So I sent it to you.
Okay.
To check out.
I will.
On your own time.
Give me time because I got a long list now. Movies and songs to listen to.
Indeed.
And so I will, and I thank you for that. And I do remember John Lennon. He was married to a Chinese woman.
Japanese.
Oh.
Same thing.
Right. They look alike.
It's kind of like saying Palestinians and Jews is the same thing.
Amazing. Thank
anyway,
you.
Greenwald bought a coffee. I liked something you said about false identities. Went something like, quote, "How are you that thing if someone had to tell you about it?"
That's right. Amazing. You are not those things. You're not your thoughts. I was talking to this woman yesterday about thoughts. A white woman, intellectual. And I was like, have you ever wondered where thoughts come from? You ever thought about that? And she's like, yeah, your brains are a mess. Stuff like that. I said, no, it ain't your brains. How about those thoughts that make you do things you don't want to do and make you consider suicide and all that? How about that? But she couldn't get it because she was so intellectual. I'm like, what the? There's this guy to go to my gym, a black guy, and he has blue eyes, like real heavy blue eyes. I'm like, you got blue eyes. Are you married to a white woman? He was cracking up. He's like, why do I have to be married to a white woman to have blue eyes? I'm like, how else would you have them?
Wouldn't his mother be a white woman or something?
That what
or
he
his
said.
father?
He's like, my mama was white. I'm like, oh, see, I told you. I'm married to your mama. But anyway.
Zuzu C. Sion. Sion bought a coffee. Hank wearing the snake emoji serpent shirt. The Palestinians and radical Islam really coming for us and these dumb brainwashed racist blacks who still date the white race and mix, by the way, worrying about their blackness. And George Floyd, LOLs, lots of laughs. Sing, Jesse. One monkey emoji. Don't stop, no show. Two musical notes emoji and a microphone emoji. Hassan Yeezy on the mix.
Amazing. Thank you. What the?
And
what's your snake represent on your shirt?
It's a cobra.
That's it?
Yeah, it's just a cool picture of a cool animal.
Oh, okay. With no meaning.
Scary animal.
Thank you, Sion.
And thank you guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. Let me ask you something before you leave.
Okie dokie.
Did you read, remember that last week, I guess, or maybe earlier this week, we got a email or something from a lady named Anna.
Yeah.
And she said that she didn't say she had gone to Israel with us, but it sounded like she was one of the people amongst the people that went to Israel with us.
Right.
Did you read the email?
I read that portion.
And did she go to Israel with us?
I mean, you're saying us as though I was with you. I wasn't with
not
you.
you, but with the group.
Yeah. I really don't think so. I think that it's an assumption.
What's the assumption?
On her part that the stuff that she said about you, or this person said, maybe, I don't know if it's he or she, but...
The name is Anna.
Right.
Anna, A-N-N-A, right?
Yeah, but we weren't clear if it was the same Anna from Geronimo.
Right. That's what I was trying to. It sounded like our Anna. It didn't sound like. But yeah, it did sound like. But it didn't sound like our Anna from Geronimo.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But because when they said that the trip to Israel was a guided trip, guided tour.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe they were there, so maybe I just don't remember who she was. I just wanted to remember if I could.
Well, the person who wrote the email said that you haven't talked with a single Palestinian, and so how do you know that they're sitting around jealous of the Jews?
But I have
You're making an
talked with
assumption.
I have talked with Palestinians.
So it sounds like this person made the assumption that you didn't talk to them.
And the trip wasn't guided.
Very guided and closed tour.
But our Anna from where our Anna from?
Missouri, Germany.
She just assumed things, does she? So it can't be her.
You're right.
Because she used to
I
write
think
really
you're right.
nice notes to her. And she always was so factual with them.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Yeah.
This is why I don't think that this was our Anna. I think this person was either on a trip with us or wanted to go on a trip to Israel.
Maybe. You speculated it might even be a Palestinian.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this Anna that wrote this email to us was a Palestinian.
There are Palestinian Christians. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Few, but...
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. It's between good and evil. It ain't about people at all.
Right.
1-0.
Yep.
But the blind think so.
I know. People misread and make assumptions about what you're saying.
I know.
Terrible. Satan's
Anyway.
busy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you all. Whoever wrote that email, the honor that wrote that email about my trip to Israel, if you were one of the people that went with us, let me know. I wanted to say hi. That's all. Maybe because a lot of really decent people went with us. Let me go to a first-time call out of Arizona. Jeffrey out of Arizona. Welcome to the show, Jeffrey. You're on the air.
Hey, thank you for accepting my call.
Yes.
I just wanted to add a little something to what you're talking about with the father's love and a mother. So there is a real difference between a father's love and a mother's caring. A father's love is it's stern. It's you're teaching. If you love the children, then the mother feels protected and safe and honored. And if you love the mother and the children see that, they feel safe, honored, and protected as well. So I wanted to just say that, the love does trickle down from the father, and it's the love of being a leader, being a role model, taking care of them in that way, And so that's what I wanted to add to the show and kind of follow in line with what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying, too, and I've heard that before, but a mother's love is not about protecting. A mother's love is not about caring. A mother's love is completely about controlling and keeping you from the father, because the love that, so-called love that comes through the mother is pure evil. And in that, there's no caring at all. It's all about her.
Right.
And not about the child at all.
Right, and that's why I say, when you the man love the mother and the children, that's true love, and that's true fabric for the family.
Yes.
So going forward from there, and that also gives the father strength and happiness to continue going, to know that in his heart he's doing the right thing, and that's God's love.
Amazing. I appreciate that, Jeffrey. Amazing.
Hey, you take care of yourself, sir. Thank you for accepting my call.
Absolutely.
Have a blessed day.
You too, buddy. 888-775-3773. Let me take a quick break. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, folks, welcome back. There's one line open at 888-7753-773. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, H-A-K-E report.com. And then at 12 noon today, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. I had an amazing conversation. I had no idea that the war was going to break out or anything. When I had this conversation with Muhammad Ali, he is from the Muslim Lantern on YouTube channel. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You're not a Muslim. It's just a religion that you belong to.
No, I know I'm a Muslim. I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that Christianity is not the truth.
Amazing.
I love the people based on the actions that they take.
My God, in order to be of Him, we have to love all.
Do you believe your God loves Hitler?
Yes.
So that's the difference between our God and yours.
Do you love those Muslims who cut off people's hair and put them on the internet?
Absolutely not.
Does a chicken have lips?
Chicken have? Is it the chicken has lips? I don't know.
It was a very interesting and fun interview or discussion. And don't forget to support the Fallen State by going to the FallenState.tv/donate and then locals.com. And at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Pacific time. He's going to be flying on Fridays. He fly high. Like the bird in the sky. Uh-huh, uh-huh. You remember that song?
No, I never heard that.
Will it go around in circles? Will it fly high like the bird in the sky? Uh-huh, uh-huh. I got a song, I ain't got no melody. Let the bad guy win every once in a while. I gotta dance, I ain't got no steps. Nah. Will it go around in circles? You not heard that?
No, at first when you were singing, I thought you were singing "Birds Flying High." You know that song?
No.
I think it's Nina Simone or something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's a fun.
I may have heard that, yeah.
That's a fun song you just sang.
That I was just singing?
Yeah.
Can you have a song and not have no dance? That was Billy Preston. He did.
Not according to Joel.
I know. You black. But anyway, at 4 p.m. today, the American Anchor Baby. And that song is called Will It Go Round in Circles. Flying high, not all fitting all, but a natural energy from God. And then Sunday morning fellowship for all. You will not be disappointed. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church for more information. rebuildingtheman.com/church. If you're in LA area anywhere, doors open at 10:30. Meetings start 11 a.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Pacific time, all right, if you're watching online. Let me go quickly to, let me see here. Let's go to NY out of Minnesota. Welcome to the show, Minnesota. NY.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi there.
Do you remember my voice?
I can't hardly hear you.
Do you remember my voice?
No. Never ask a black man if he remembers.
No, I black men do remember. It's just you, Jesse.
So what now?
It's just you that doesn't remember things.
No. What's going on?
All right, so Jesse, I called about how you felt about Palestine and Israel, but you already talked about that. I know how you feel now.
And how do I feel?
You're against the Palestinians and for the Israelis.
That's not true.
What?
That's not true.
Okay, you're against the Palestinians and not for the Israelis?
That's not true.
You're against the Muslims and for the Jews?
That's not true.
Okay, then you tell me, sir.
Okay. I'm against evil, and this battle that's going on with the Christians and with the Jews and the Palestinians is a battle of evil and good.
Evil.
And it's really not about the Palestinians, and it's not about the Jews. It's about the spirit of evil trying to get control over human beings.
Okay. So, anyways, I just
it's the same battle that everybody is having. It's the same battle.
So I wanted to just touch up on a subject.
Okay. Let me just finish this. It's the same battle as the blacks and whites, Mexicans, and whoever they're fighting with, and everybody. But go ahead.
So, just I wanted to talk about. So, I wanted to add something to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Okay.
So, I am Muslim, right?
Okay.
So, when I was a child, I was walking to a store with my mother, and she saw a group of Jews. She pointed at the Jewish man, and she said, "Look, that's a Jewish man. Jews are cursed, and they stink."
And wow, do me a favor, don't hang up. Do not hang up. I want to hear what you have to say, but I want Sean to talk to you for a minute because your phone is not coming through clear. I don't know if it's how you're not speaking loud or something.
Sir, okay, hold on. How about now?
That's better. If you can speak like that, I can hear you.
Okay. So, as I was saying, so she pointed to a Jewish man and she said, that Jewish man is stinky and there's a curse that comes down on him. Okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you can hear me now, but I can barely hear you, so I'm just going to keep talking.
Yeah, hold on. Don't hang up. I'll check and see if she's on speaker or something, Sean, because it is not coming across real clear. Let me go to TJ out of the UK in the meantime. TJ, welcome to the show. You're on the air. TJ. No TJ. 888-775-3773. No TJ. Let me go to Clay out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Clay, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good luck. How you doing, Jeff?
All is well, sir. How you? I can hear you.
I'm doing good. Happy Friday.
Thank you. You too, buddy.
I was calling about that Patrisse Cullors. I've seen you on that interview probably 10 times. I've watched that video. I love it. I watched that one and the one with Beyonce's father when you did that one too.
Nice.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. He ran on you. He hung up on you. You keep saying Solange, Beyonce.
I interviewed Beyonce daddy.
Yeah, that was a good one. So those are my two go-tos, so that's why I always go to them because they're funny. I mean, I'm thinking, oh man, that guy. But I was calling about the Black Lives Matter. I think you might have covered this before I came on a little bit late about Black Lives Matter wants to do a Hamas-style attack on the U.S.
And that's what they tried doing when they were doing that rioting.
Yeah, that's what they're calling for now. Like that Patrisse Cullors, she's wanting to do the same thing. She's wanting a Hamas-style attack on the United States. I'm like, well, don't be here. Go over there and go do it. Go attack Iraq. Go attack some of these Middle Eastern countries if you want to do all that stuff.
That's right. Why don't they move? You're right. You make a good point. Go live in Palestine if you think it's better than the U.S.
Go fight with Palestine. Go fight the Israelis, because I wouldn't want to fight the Israelis, because there's some Israeli commandos. I wouldn't want to go up against them.
I'm telling you, man. What the? That's right.
You're talking about special forces. Those guys are really tough guys. So I mean. So, anyways, I was bringing that point up. But anyways, we were talking about the blacks. But I live here in Georgia, the middle of the state, home of the Allman Brothers, actually. Violent crime is high here. And people don't know what to do. I mean, it's to a point like you get on these interviews. Oh, well, we don't. I guess more midnight basketball. And actually, Colin Flaherty is a friend of mine. Actually, he was. And I used to talk to him on the phone quite a bit, and we would discuss all this stuff like that in his book and everything like that. But the crime here is like super high, just like everywhere else. So, what are you supposed to do? I mean,
that's what our government needs to be focused on, is bringing back law and order in our country, rather than trying to fight wars with everyone else around the world, while our country is falling apart, wide open, falling apart, and they're pretending they love everybody else around the world except for their own people at home. It's insane, man.
And that's my point. I mean, if you usually, nowadays they don't have a newspaper anymore, but if you open up the newspaper, it's like black dots, dot, just show their mugshots. This guy killed this person. This guy killed this person. This guy he robbed this store. I mean, this was like, 10 years ago when they had newspaper print. Now everything's, online.
Amazing. Clay, thank you, man. I got to run. I appreciate you, though.
Sir.
Call me again, buddy.
Okay, take care.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Desiree out of New Jersey. Desiree, welcome. I mean, Deidre, Desiree. Deidre.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
How are you?
All is well.
I haven't talked to you in a long time, but I just called to see how you was doing, and I had a question, actually.
Okay.
When people call themselves followers of Jesus Christ and say that they follow the Word of God and the Holy Bible, I don't understand. Do they realize that we all descendants of Adam and Eve, and we all brothers and sisters, but they don't act like they know that?
They don't know that. Just like they don't know Christ or his Father God. They just know about him. They have an idea about him. All ideas are wrong. So they don't know that, because if they did, they would love everyone. There would not be one person on earth that they would hate or be angry at. But so they don't love them because they don't know.
I agree. And my other question was, what do you think about what's going on in Africa with everything, like with France and America trying to have a strong arm there because of their resources? Because I don't think I hear people in America that call themselves African American, and they with Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, but if they really cared about their black life, they would care about what's going on in Africa, because they're really not free.
They don't care. It's about money and power. People with egos don't care about anyone. It's always all about self. They don't care about the children. They don't care about anyone. That's why we must be born again of love. So the love of the Father can work through us to cause us to love all people, even our enemy. but they don't love. Look what the so-called black leadership have done to black people over the last 70 years or so. They have totally brainwashed them and used them for their own personal gain. And what I want blacks to understand and wake up, they got to get past this black thing. They got to become individuals again the way they were before they turned their lives over to so-called leadership or anyone.
Yes. I just, because I notice at work a lot of times I get confronted with that, and I said, is Satan trying to test me at my job? But most people, when they come, their questions is like, Black Jesus. And I'm like, well, if Jesus come today and he purple, I wouldn't care. I don't understand the logic in that.
Yeah. They're blind and their hearts are wicked. They have no love. Their hearts are evil, and they just cannot see. And once a person make their mind up about something, you can't make them see. Even God can't. He could make them see, but he won't make them see.
But he turned them over already.
Yeah, he let them stay into the darkness. And we should do the same thing. Don't be mad at them because they can't see.
Right.
Just.
But you still want to try because you want everybody to go to heaven. So even though you know everybody not, you still want them to. You want them to.
Want them to what?
I said, even though we know everybody's not going to go to heaven, you still want to try and push the word, even though we don't supposed to throw out pearls before swine. You still want to try.
And why do you want to try?
Because I would want. I mean, if I'm talking to somebody that I know that doesn't know God, the compassion in me, I feel sad for that person because I want them to know what I know.
But why?
Because I would want them to know Jesus Christ.
Why?
I would want them to go to heaven.
Why?
Because we living in sin and we in a fallen state.
But they
have no
don't
moral
want
compass.
they don't want to go to heaven. Why do you want them to go to heaven?
But who's to say that they don't want to go to heaven if they don't know if it's real? If they don't even know?
They are saying they don't want to. They don't want to go because if they wanted to go, they would be seeking. They would look. They don't want to go.
Understood. Okay.
And by feeling sorry for them is wrong too. You shouldn't feel sad for anyone. God does not feel sad for anyone. He and his son, they sit up there on the thrones in heaven, and they have this big screen TV on.
Right.
And every morning they have cafe mocha, and sometimes they have the egg and bacon bites.
Jesse, I love you. You have a great weekend.
All right. You too. Good to hear from you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Did New York hang up or NY? Or phone wasn't working well? Okay. NY, if you can call back with a better phone, please do. Not please do, but do. Let me go to a first-time caller out of Canada. Brandon out of Canada. Brandon, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to ask you about purpose. I've heard you talk about purpose many times. I've listened to a lot of the sermons through Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel.
Yes.
But over the years, as like a believer in Christ, I've struggled with, I have talents, but sometimes I want to use them so that God can be known or to, I guess, help build the kingdom. But sometimes I guess I just kind of get confused because the world can pull you into its direction instead of doing things for the right reason. Just wondering what your thoughts on what a young man should be pursuing in that way for purpose.
Before I answer that, give me an example of a talent that you have and you want to use it for God.
Music, like playing piano, singing, rapping, things like that.
So you want to use your rapping music talent for God?
Yeah, that and anything else.
And why do you want to use that for God?
I guess because it's the highest purpose for what it should be used for. Because if I'm not using it for God, I guess I'm using it for the devil.
And where did you get that idea from?
Well, just hearing you just say that all ideas are false, I probably got it from the wrong source.
And where did you get it from?
Perhaps the scriptures, like reading through the Bible, and maybe sermons and just learning from other people over time.
I would encourage you.
You're supposed to.
I'm sorry?
I guess I've been told that you're supposed to.
I would let that go so fast it get me to swimming in the head. That's why you're confused. You have an idea that is just an idea, and ideas don't work.
So then how would you know, like, let's say you're writing a song, then how would you know you're writing it for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons? Because let's say I wrote a song about love or about being with a girl or something.
Right.
That could influence other people to kind of do the same thing, let's say I wrote a song in kind of a beta type of way. That could also influence other people to be in that same way. Do you know what I mean? Not all songs are from...
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so how do you write a song without doing that?
Yeah.
By just writing a song with no idea about what's going to happen.
And then just trust that God will work through the process?
No, just write the song and make you some money and provide a life for yourself on earth.
So just don't worry about the outcome?
Right, because you're not responsible for anyone but yourself.
So what about, there's a lot of young, I guess, rappers or singers and stuff, and they sing about, or they rap about, the craziest stuff, you know?
Right. And that's on them. They're not responsible for the parents who allow their children to listen to that. But the rapper that writes the song and do the song is only responsible for the rapper that's doing it. And whatever consequences come, that's on him or her. It has nothing to do with anything else because the parents who allow their children to listen to that music don't love their children anyway. That's why they're letting them do it, because the parents are already in hell and they want their children to be in hell.
So if I write a song that's not with the right themes, even if I don't have any ideas about it, then won't that consequence be on me?
It'll be on you, that's right. And no one else, but you're not responsible for what happens with anyone else with it.
Okay.
You are your own world, and each individual is their own world, and you can't enter into another person's world if they don't let you in. And so if they listen to your music and it's about love and they start feeling love and all that crap, that's on them. It has nothing to do with them, with you. It's something they need to overcome.
So I guess I just need to focus on continuing to overcome and being in the kingdom so that I can be a pure...
Brendan, can you hold for me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me take a break. I got to take a break here. One more hour to go. We're going to move calls and super chats when I come back. 888-7753-773. Run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Another white cop lynched on behalf of another Black Lives Matter victim from 2019. And Iran didn't... Elijah McClain. Remember that one? I barely remember it. Iran didn't get their money, and they're holding up their money. Qatar and the United States. And rest in peace to one of the Isley brothers. He died. Rudolph. And an update on the China virus. What's up with the China virus? CNN has the story. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Friday, the 13th of October, 2023 AD. Ooh. Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hour of Express Yourself Friday continues with JLP. But first, Hake News, not fake news. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News to get on hold to get on air with Jesse. After JLP, the Hake Report, live Monday through Friday, as you guys all know probably by now, thehakereport.com. And of course, The Fallen State, happening today with that Muslim guy, Muhammad Ali, not to be confused with the one who has passed on. And should be very fun. So The Fallen State on YouTube, Jesse Lee Peterson on Rumble. We do stream it live. There is also rumble.com/TFS. Rumble.com/TFS has Fallen State, as well as BitChute and other places. And of course, American Anchor, baby. Nick Stream, flying high, but not on pot. YouTube.com/NickStreams. That's American Anchor, baby, on YouTube and Rumble. And Gorgonzola on DLive. Cool. GORGONZHOLA on DLive. Black Lives Matter victim, quote, "Hopefully today's verdict can be a sign for healing. Fat chance." That's Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser, Weiser, perhaps not a Christian, issuing a statement after one Colorado police officer who arrested Elijah McClain was convicted of criminally negligent homicide. The other officer was acquitted. Elijah McClain, 23-year-old, unarmed, as if that's relevant, black male, in an open-faced ski mask. A guy called the cops on him. He was resisting arrest and acting crazy with inhuman strength, riding his bike home. He wouldn't hurt a fly, but he was subdued after police and injected with ketamine by paramedics in 2019. Iran didn't get their money. Yesterday, outlets reported the U.S. and Qatar reached a quiet understanding that they would block Iran from accessing their $6 billion. The money was released last month in exchange for U.S. Prisoners, 5 of them in Iran, with the note that Iran can only use the money for humanitarian purposes, necessities. U.S. and Qatar are hitting pause on that after Hamas's unprecedented attack against Israel, according to the ladies at the Skim, I think, it's the Skim, yeah. And Iran has funded Hamas with $100 million per year. Wow, allegedly. U.S. officials have said there's no evidence yet that Iran is directly involved with the assaults and have not yet tapped the funds. Iran has denied any involvement and has said the money rightfully belongs to the people of Iran. And rest in peace, Rudolph Isley, one of the founding members of the R&B group, Isley Brothers. He's died, his family announced, 84 years old, too young, gone too soon. Though the band's membership evolved through the years, the Isley Brothers had enduring success with songs like Love the One You're With and Testify, I guess. And the China virus. CNN, Commie Nonsense Networks, reports more than 7 million quote-unquote Americans have received the dose of the updated China virus vaccine since it became available widely in September. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, said Thursday. The scared woman-led CDC recommended vaccines from Moderna or Pfizer BioNTech for everyone 6 months and older. Ridiculous. I've been repeating that over the weeks. On September 12th, an updated vax from Novavax became available this month, recommended for people 12 and over. What in the world? I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
have to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Amazing!
Amazing! What the?
Sorry about that. My fault. My bad. It was me. I was late. I'm back. 888-7. Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. There's one line open. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse, my brand new biblical question for this week. Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, you're out there today doing your little jihad around the world, and it is happening. We're done in some parts of the world, according to the reports. If you're out there doing your little jihad right now, you can be listening to the show while you're jihading by calling the listen line on your cell phone or your iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cozy.tv/JLP. JLP Talk on X and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Follow, like, subscribe. Y'all know all that, right? Do that. It's Friday. It's the last hour of the show today. It is whatever's on your mind. It is Express Yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
My mom passed. And on her deathbed, I said, can I tell you something, woman? I've never been married.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted you to be my number one girl. I never got married because I knew my mom needed me.
All I can say is I'm sorry, Mom.
Your mama need a husband.
Every time I've been bad or did something,
Mama.
I loved her.
Mama.
And I even asked her to marry me one day.
American singer R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison by a U.S. federal court in New York.
What's one misconception that you think that you would want for people to understand about your dad?
Well, one thing I want people to understand, I'm only going to say this as respectfully as I can. I'm not answering questions about my father.
You know, wanting a father, not having a father, first of all,
it's not about him. It's about me.
It's automatically something missing in your life.
I'm just here supporting my baby. She's the heir to the throne, and a lot of people think, oh, well, when you say the heir to the throne, are you talking about R. Kelly's throne? No, she has her own throne. She's a queen and a princess. She's the heir to the throne that her mother is building, my empire that I am building. Thank you very much.
Uniting the races with truth. Also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Stand up. Stand up Amazing. Let me go quickly back to Brandon, a first-time call out of Canada. And Brandon is talking about his purpose in life. So, Brandon, why can't you just play your music without any of those ideas in your mind?
I guess because and this is definitely another idea, but I want to please the Father. I don't want to lead anybody astray, and I don't want to, I guess I just don't want to be working for the wrong kingdom. You know what I mean?
And where you get those ideas from?
I guess myself, or maybe not myself, but the thoughts, which I know you say every thought is a complete lie, and I definitely agree with that. I've been doing the silent prayer. I've got a bunch of people in my family doing the silent prayer, and we've come to notice that that is definitely true.
Yeah. And all those ideas you just espoused has come from the darkness of your imagination and from other people's lies, because they're living in the darkness and they just have ideas. And those people who are saying that, they're not singing unto the Lord. They're not, their talent is not used for God. They're just lying and emotional, and they're pretending that it is because they don't know it better. Why don't you just use your talent and then seek the kingdom of God by forgiving your mother, return to your father, do the silent prayer, and overcome thoughts.
And just create. Just be unafraid and just create.
Let's create. Pay your rent with the money you create from doing your talent. Buy some food, put a little food on your table, save a little bit. Why don't you just live your life without all those ideas? Because God is not a part of your ideas at all. They're all from hell.
But then wouldn't the creations be from hell too then?
What creation?
Like creating a song or a design or a book or...
If you're lost in your thoughts, they are. But if you're using the thoughts as a tool, let's say you want to write a song. Yeah. And you want to write a song about being in love. And you remember what it was like when you were in love. And you do the song about that. And when you're done with the song, you put the tool down.
And that's not wrong?
It's neither wrong nor right. And how can it be wrong?
I don't know. I guess, like, and I guess, like you say, it's an idea, but I would think that God has an opinion on what I should say and what I shouldn't say.
What do you mean by that?
Like, God in his perfect nature would want certain themes to come through a song instead of others. Like if I'm singing about the wrong kind of love, then that could affect people to... I know you already told me that. I'm going in circles because you already told me that that's on somebody else. Like if they get caught up in that, it's not on me.
It had nothing to do with you at all. You're only responsible spiritually for Brandon.
Okay.
You're not responsible for those people who lack responsibility for themselves. You can't save anyone, and you can't take anyone to hell. They're already in hell.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. What about ministers then? Like people who minister, you know? Like, are they... I definitely see what you're saying, and it takes a lot of pressure off. It means like I can just create and not have, you know, any thoughts or ideas about it. It just makes me think about like ministers. If somebody is like, I don't know, praying for somebody who's sick or praying for somebody to be delivered from a demon or anything like that, or even people say you can minister through music, then are the ministers responsible to do what God wants them to do, or they should just do it and forget about the results?
I don't understand that question.
Yeah, I know. That was a little bit of a runaround. I'm just thinking like... So, I'm not responsible for anybody else's spiritual walk.
Do you think that you are?
No, but I want to be ready. Like when people in my family have come to me for like, because I guess they see me as more spiritual than them, and I'll tell them like I'm not. I'm just just like them. But I will sit and pray with them if they ask me to, or if they're dealing with like demonic attacks or something like that. And I've seen other people. Like I remember you had a pastor on, Pastor Daniel. He'll go out in the streets and like he'll get words for people and pray for them and stuff. Is that just good because he's just doing it naturally and not forcing it?
No, that's all an act.
But why? How is it so accurate if it's an act?
What's so accurate?
Like I've seen pastors or ministers go up to somebody in the street and say, "Hey, like God told me you had a bad back," and then they'll say, "Yeah, I do have a bad back," and then they'll pray for them, and that person will be healed. But
who don't have a bad back?
I know, but sometimes it's more specific than just a bad back. I just use that as like
right. I understand. You can go up to a person that has no bad back problem, period, and never had a bad back, but because you're a preacher or you have some form of a title, you can tell them that, and they're too insecure to say, "No, I don't have a bad back." They'll say, "I have one," because they don't want to embarrass you, and they don't want to be embarrassed.
But what if it is accurate?
And
like if
99.9% is not.
Okay. But are there people that can do that, or are you saying that that's not what we should be doing as Christians?
You should be walking up to somebody and telling you got a bad back. Let me hear you.
Yeah, but I mean, it does say that those that lay hands on the sick, they shall be healed. It says that in the scriptures.
Right. But it wasn't talking about physical heal.
Do you think that the physical problems come from the spiritual problems?
100%.
Yeah, me too. I think that too. Well, interesting, Jesse. I really appreciate it.
Once you're spiritually healed, then your faith, which now is in the Father, can cause you to be physically healed. Another person can't heal you. It's your faith that heals you. Real faith, not faith, but real faith.
Right.
But most people don't have real faith. They have idea faith.
Yeah, definitely.
Christ woke up people. He turned them back to the Father. And when they woke up, they were able to walk.
Right. Is it possible for somebody to wake up, walk, and then fall back into the darkness?
No.
I felt like I experienced that because I didn't know God at all my whole life. Then when I was 17, I truly, like, the lights came on. I saw everything different. But I got caught up in, like, after some years, I got caught up in, I guess, my thoughts and stuff. And I went back into the things probably worse than I was before I kind of woke up. And then now I'm, like, coming back again. It's like I'm waking up again.
But that was your fake self went back into hell. You'd never been in hell.
Oh, yeah, you say about that. The real self never has done anything wrong.
The real you is already in paradise. You just identify with the wrong you, the not you, and you're in hell because you identify with hell. But the real you has always been in paradise, right here on earth.
So is it possible for a person to always live as the real you?
If once you overcome all thoughts, absolutely. Once your heart changes from anger to love, and you overcome all thoughts, that's all you will live is love, right here on earth.
And that's possible.
100%. 100%. If you didn't believe any thoughts right now, if you let go of all ideas right now, if you had a clear mind right now, you'd be already in paradise, living it forever.
Whoa. Wow, that sounds exciting.
And it's not only exciting, it's absolutely true. And God has never judged you. You've never been a sinner. You've never been a saint. You've never been right. You've never been wrong. You've never been a drunk. You've never been a slut maker. You've never been a slut. You've never been a prostitute. You've never been a murderer. You've never been any of those things. It's just your ideas about them make you think, cause you to believe that it's you, and it was never you.
Right. Wow. That's a real paradigm shift, you know? Like a real change in the whole way you live your life.
Absolutely. Because you started to see, and the people who believe that there are all those things, they can't see, and the world is piling on with other things, other false identities.
Yeah. And that's why I guess things get really burdensome and really heavy, because there's so many identities.
Because you're living, right, absolutely, and you're living in the hell of your imagination and emotions, believing that is you.
Right. Wow. There's a lot to take in, but it was really freeing.
It was freeing.
To hear it. Yeah.
And that's what
freeing.
the truth does. It makes you free.
Right.
Because the real you, in all honesty, Brandon, the real you is free. It's the not you that you hold on to that need to die. Christ said that in order to live, you must die. And it's all this not you stuff, all this stuff the world been telling you, all this stuff your parents told you, all this stuff your school teacher told you, and all this stuff the devil continue to tell you in your head.
Do you think as a young person that can happen? Like I'm in my 20s, like sometimes it seems like people kind of wake up, like they kind of let the identities die when they are like a bit older because they start to mature. But like for a young person, is it possible for that to actually happen? Like all the identities die and they live?
100%. If you right now, this very moment, if you were to stop reacting to the thrill of life, to the things you feel, the shock you get, and all that, if you didn't call it you, if you just notice that it's happening inside of you, but it's not you, and just live your life, you'll be free of it right now. You can't give it you can't give one thrill another thrill and be free from it by reacting to it, overreacting. But if you just notice that, oh, somebody said something, I felt fear, or my wife left and I felt lonely. If you just notice it and not call it you, but just notice it without naming it, but just simply watching it, you can be free.
Just watch it, just observe, just be aware. I know what you're talking about when it comes, because I do feel it when it comes, when something, fear or anything, it comes, I notice it. I'm definitely at that point where I can
and that's
see it.
all you have to do. Don't call it I or me or anything. Just watch it and continue to live your life. Write your music, do your songs, and pay your bills and put gas in your car and whatever, right? And just live your life noticing these shocks that happen on the inside, but give it no feedback at all, you'll be free. Because you...
And if somebody... Sorry, go ahead.
You stop identifying with it.
Right. And if people come to me to be like prayed for and stuff, should I just say... just tell them what you told me instead of praying for them? That's probably more freeing.
I would not plan to do that or not to do it. I would have a wait and see attitude, because if you wait and see, then you may have to just say, you know what, I wish you well. That's my prayer. Or whatever God's will is, is my prayer. Because you would pray for that person and they'll get well, and then they'll turn on you and build an army to destroy you. Right, and even if they get well, that might like boost my ego. I'm like, whoa, I can pray for people. And Absolutely.
They get well.
You don't know what's in store with that person, because you may be praying for the devil. And you feel good about praying for the devil.
Goodness. Wow. Well, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it. I'm kind of shocked I got through. It was super quick. I didn't realize. But I really appreciate it.
So what I recommend is that you do your music. Get rid of all those ideas. My music is my music that I want to sing unto the Lord, and I want to praise unto the Lord. And your talent, you can use your talent to earn a living and make a life for yourself here on earth, because you need food, you need a shelter, you need those things to live by. Maybe it's provided, given to you for that purpose.
Yeah, it actually, not doing it has paralyzed me and made me poor, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you can't blame God. He gave you a boat and you didn't get on it.
Right. and I was almost afraid to get on it. But if I just do it and not think about and have any ideas about it, I can just do it and be free.
That's right.
Wow, that's amazing, Jesse. Wow. That's amazing.
And
Thank
then
you.
I hope you lose this idea that you're responsible for someone else. You're not. Each individual, it's a spiritual law. Each adult individual is responsible for themselves only. You're not responsible for them, and they're not responsible for you. And you're not to blame when they overreact and do crazy things or how they treat you. That's on them. You're not responsible, man. They're already in hell before you met them. Before they hear your song, they're already in hell.
True. I guess there's just that hope that like we can free somebody because we've been freed too.
You
but
know
even
what?
that could be.
I'll let that hope go so fast. That's a false hope.
That's another identity, another idea.
You can't free nobody. You can't even free yourself. How are you going to free someone else?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So why do you hope and all that mess about freeing someone else when it's clear that we can't even free ourselves as individuals?
I guess we've really been taught wrong because we're taught that we are supposed to, like the Great Commission, like go out, preach and heal and deliver and save, and we're taught that we're supposed to do like greater things than Jesus and all that stuff.
You've been lied to.
Right.
And now you're out there trying to do greater things than Jesus and you're hungry.
Yeah. That's kind of ironic, eh? Wow.
It's very ironic.
Yeah.
You've been lied to, buddy. Overcome lies by overcome the imagination. Have no anger and overcome lies by overcome the imagination.
Yeah, the anger died when I forgave my parents.
Well, now, are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Every morning, every night, and sometimes throughout the day, like I'll stop like 2 or 3 times and do it too.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You haven't seen anything yet. Do your music, man.
All right, man.
And go earn yourself a living.
To,
Be grateful that God gave you a talent to earn a living. That's your job.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I appreciate that. I definitely feel like a freedom. Appreciate you telling me the truth. That's really good.
You're welcome. Amazing.
All right.
I wish you well, Brandon.
Thank you. I hope to visit you guys in at church sometime.
Amazing. Nice.
Nice. All right, Jesse, you have a good one.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Charles, first time call out of Missouri. And while Charles is coming into the studio, my experts are coming in. We're going to talk. I have a question for them that I kind of think I might know, but I may not know the answer to this. So I have to ask them with you listening in. Charles out of Missouri, first time caller. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jesse. Good day.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Good.
My question was, how can we prove that we love the Father in heaven? Is there a way that we can actually prove it?
No. You can prove it by not proving it and not even trying to prove it. You can't prove that.
Really?
Right. Because we don't love the Father in heaven.
What brought you to that conclusion?
I'm sorry?
What brought you to that conclusion?
Which one?
Where you said we don't love and that we cannot prove that we love Him.
The proof is if you love God, you wouldn't rely on your imagination at all. If you love God, your heart would be of perfect love and not anger, period.
Okay, I agree with that point there. It must be love. It goes to the fruits of the Spirit that Paul talks about so much. But Jesse, I would have to disagree with you on that because you would consider me a Bible thumper.
Bible thumper.
That's right. Boom, boom. But let me just say,
you believe that you can prove that you love God?
Yes.
And how can you prove it?
By His Word.
What do you mean?
Well, let's see what his word says.
What do you mean by you can prove it by his word?
By reading it and telling you what it says. If you'll allow me, if you go to John 14:15, it tells you, if you love me, keep my commandments.
Right.
Okay. It says this, he that have my commandments and keepeth them is he that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him.
That's true.
He speaks of keeping my commandments. And I believe Ecclesiastes 14:13 says to keep his commandments, because that's the whole duty of man, is to keep his commandments. So I ask, okay, if the book says that, what commandments are he speaking about?
Are you keeping his commandment?
Yes, I am.
And so how come you don't know how are you keeping his commandments?
He has his commandments right here. What you do is, first of all, find his commandments.
No, I'm asking you, how are you keeping his commandments? How are you, long story short, because of time,
okay.
and it's not Bible, if you can, I would want you to call me back on Bible Common Thursday, but how are you Charles, keeping his commandments?
Okay, well, his commandments, his top commandments.
No, I didn't ask you what were they. No. I asked, how are you keeping them? Tell me how you are keeping them.
By obeying his word in love.
And how are you doing that?
Well, let me explain. It says, have no other gods before him, so I don't worship Allah or any other god. I don't walk around with crosses and pictures of Jesus on the wall. I don't take his name in vain by calling him names that he never answered to. I keep the Sabbath day. I honor my
What does
mother
that mean,
father.
keep the Sabbath day?
The seventh day of rest, which will be coming up at sundown.
Are you a black Israelite or something?
I'm a Bible keeper.
Are you an Israelite?
I am a descendant of Israelites, yeah.
Are you a black Israelite?
No, I'm not a black Israelite. I am an Israelite.
And are you black?
Black is a color of a crayon. I'm actually kind of yellowish.
Are you black?
No, I'm yellow.
Would you be considered a Negro?
Yeah, they would call me a Negro.
So you're black. And so you're black. No wonder. What the?
Jesse.
Here, can you do me a favor because of time? I do want to talk to you. I'm not breaking you off. Can you call me on Bible Thumping Thursday this week?
Yeah.
Okay, call me Thursday because the black is like a mess, and we're going to need some time.
Jesse.
What?
I know. Well, here's my point. You asked me the question. This is 10 Commandments.
No, I just asked you something else. I said because of time. See, this is why we have Bible Thumping Thursday because the black Israelite don't even hear you. I said because of time, can you call me back on Bible Thumping Thursday? And I'll spend a little bit more time with you.
Okay, well, I just want to let you know the commandments.
See how he ain't paying attention. He's still trying to tell you about the commandments.
Yeah, that's what the book says.
But that's what the black Israelite do.
Well, Jesse, okay, Jesse.
Can you call me on Thursday?
I will definitely give you a call back on Thursday.
And remind when they answer the phone when you call in, just remind me you called today, all right? And I asked you to call back.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Proverbs 14.
Thank you. Look at he's still trying to give out a scripture.
Thank
what the? See, I still trying to get that word. Black Israelites work so hard to prove they the real Jews. Bible thumper. You should say that again. Oh man. Let me take a break. When I come back, I have a question for the experts. And then more of your phone calls and super chats. I'm right at the break. But Charles, the black Israelite person, you know how the black Israelite person won't say they black anymore? When I ask them they black, well, I'm light skinned.
You said yellow.
Yellow.
Like an Asian?
I'm yellow.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Black and brown, black and yellow. I'll take a break. I'll be right back. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, folks, welcome back. Quick announcements. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour, thehakereport.com. And then from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And at 12 noon, brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. A very interesting discussion with Muhammad Ali, not the boxer, but Muhammad Ali is from the Muslim Lantern, L-A-N, Lantern YouTube channel. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You're not a Muslim. It's just a religion that you belong to.
No, I know I'm a Muslim. I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that Christianity is not the truth.
Amazing.
I love the people based on the actions that they take.
My God, in order to be of Him, we have to love all.
Do you believe your God loves Hitler?
Yes.
So that's the difference between our God and yours.
Do you love those Muslims who cut off people's head and put them on the internet?
Absolutely not.
Does a chicken have lips?
Chicken have? Is it the chicken has lips? I don't know.
Do they have chickens over in Alaba land? They better even know what a chicken is.
I mean, I'm sure they do.
That's the Fallen State today at 12 noon. You can support the Fallen State, and I hope you do, by going to the fallenstate.tv/donate, locals.com, or rebuildingtheman.com. I do appreciate it. And then at 4 p.m., the Anchor Baby flying high. Not off pot. Not off fentanyl. Not off acid. But off energy alone from God. Amazing. Check out the Anchor Baby today at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Church on Sunday, all right? Doors open at 10:30. The meeting start at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you can't be here in person, you can watch it live anywhere in the world by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. So let me do something really fast, and then I'm gonna ask. Who am I ask first? I have my experts in here, but I want to get a comment from Joel about it too. We just don't have enough room for all 6 of us right now. But let me ask the ones that are here. To my left and your right, or to my right and your left, the Anchor Baby. And the Anchor Baby is an ex-producer of Jesse Lee Peterson, and now he's expert and the host of his own show here on the network, the Anchor Baby Show. And next to him is, wow, Hassan Hassan is the host of Wow Hassan with the 2 S's every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. The audio engineer and the expert. And here, he white. You can't get any whiter. Is Sean, my producer, and also an expert here on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. And to his right, the one, the only, the Hake Report. Not the fake report, but the Hake Report.
Nice.
Monday through Friday from 9 to 11. Nick.
What's up?
This war that's happening with the attack upon Israel by the Hamas, the Palestinian. How do you see it?
I've been trying to comment on it the past few days, just like many people.
You've been trying to comment on it?
Right, and get a handle on the facts and whatnot. I've definitely given an attempt to do so. But like I said on Wednesday, the reality is I don't really know about foreign policy or anything, so I'm not going to pretend there. But what I do see and what I have some experience with is like human nature. What I'm seeing, you can give it any name you want. You can call it Palestinian, you can call it Arab, you can call it Muslim, you can call it Jewish, you can call it Israeli. I'm seeing emotional people, and I'm seeing emotion, not logic, not love, and no understanding, just the evil spirit. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay.
So the conflict I'm seeing within everybody, on all people, and that's what I'm seeing that on display more than ever. Yeah, I know there's physical fighting, but I'm seeing the war within.
Okay. Hassan, how do you see it?
I just see it as like, I think it's definitely a spiritual battle, like you talk about, but I tend to see it just in a interesting way that I think there's a lot of propaganda on both sides, obviously, but I do think that we've been conditioned by Israel and by Jewish media a lot of times to believe that one narrative when, some would say that Jewish people...
Not what some would say, but what would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah.
That Jewish people have manipulated lots of different people in America, specifically like using minorities or women or gays with different things like Black Lives Matter and Planned Parenthood and LGBT and all these different things with George Soros or whatever it is. But the point is that their greatest manipulation and coercion is with the white Christian American, making them believe that they're best friends and that we need to be fighting Israel's war for them so they can just do whatever they want and they know Big Brother will come because Christians have been sold that Israel is the second coming of Christ and the revelation has to be fulfilled when Israel now is...
You said Christians have been told that?
Yeah, American Christian whites have been duped the most.
And so how does that relate to the war between Palestine and Israel right now?
Because they're letting things happen and creating things so that Israel, so that America has to get involved and fight on their behalf.
How do you know that?
That's just this is, again, I'm just going off of what I believe.
But why do you believe that?
That's just what I see.
But how you see it?
Because the propaganda...
You got intel information? Yeah.
As much intel as the intelligence that let it happen.
Are you Mossad?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mossad let it they didn't see it either, so maybe...
Mossad?
Mossad is the Israeli CIA or something like that.
Oh, okay.
The intelligence that somehow let all this happen. The highest level intelligence known to man. But, so yeah, and I just watched the propaganda of different people saying that, oh, look at these images, it's the worst thing since the Holocaust. And they're acting like things didn't lead up to this or things didn't lead up to the Holocaust. That happened
I don't
beforehand.
even know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, let's just move on.
Right. Long story short, because of time, because I want to get Joy.
Long story short is that...
How do you see this war between Israel and the Palestine right now?
Okay, long story short is both sides don't... the majority doesn't fully have Jesus Christ. The Muslim side and the Jewish side. I know there's some Christians sprinkled in there or whatever, but for the most part, that area and that nation doesn't accept Jesus Christ, and that's the problem. And it's not just about Jesus Christ. It's about what Jesus Christ is, for forgiveness, love, peace, the things you talk about. So until Christ returns, not physically, meaning in their hearts, that will be the second coming for them to accept Jesus so they can embody Christ.
Do you know any nation that have accepted Jesus?
Well, I know that in America we should be, that's what we should be on. We should be on Christian nationalism.
Do you know any nation that has accepted Jesus?
America, once upon a time.
Do you know any nation that has accepted Jesus?
Yes, America.
America has not accepted Jesus.
Once upon a time.
We talking about now.
Well, now it's not because of the things that I'm saying. Because of the people that anyway.
He said it's the Jewish propaganda's fault that America's strayed from Christianity.
Yeah,
how you gonna blame anyone for that?
And Jewish media makes
nobody is responsible for another person straying from Jesus except our parents.
Well, I agree, but
so how you gonna blame that then?
But Jewish media wants us to believe that it's Arabs and it's 9/11's gonna happen every day, when secretly the other group is making 9/11's happen every day.
I don't know what all that, but thank you. Because of time here, how do you see this war between See, I'm glad I didn't know fully, folks. Y'all hearing it as I'm hearing it. Sean, my producer, and one of the experts here on Justin Lee Peter, amazing producer, by the way. How do you see the war between Palestine and Israel right now?
America first. Period. End of story.
But the question is, how do you see the war?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like the clip we played. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't know what's going on over there. And the one thing I can see, so in other words, I can't see clearly exactly what's going on over there. What I can see clearly is what's going on here in my own country, and it's falling apart. So they tried to convince us that it was in our interest to send over billions of dollars to Ukraine, and some people now are trying to convince us that it's in our interest to send military supplies to somewhere else, and we need those here. We need to consolidate our own interests. And as far as the terrorists that we're supposed to be afraid of, they're already here. They're already in our own country. So I don't know what's going on over there. Some people on the side of Israel will claim that it's always been an Israeli state. That area of land has always been Israel's, and it's never been a Palestinian state. Palestinians will claim the opposite. So
the way you see the war is what? You don't know, you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think about it. I think about it in terms of America, and so I want to put America first.
Hake. What? No, I'm playing. Hake. How do you see the war between Israel and Palestine?
I haven't paid.
By the way, the treasure chest is open on D-Line.
Nice. Indeed, it is opening.
Thank you, Hassan. How do you see the war between Palestine and Israel?
It's pretty crazy. It's sort of exciting and evil. You see the mainstream media all excited about it, and you see under Obama we had ISIS cutting off heads and burning people alive and putting them in cages and doing crazy things, slitting their throats, throwing them in the sea. And now it seems like Hamas is doing that under Biden, which is Obama Part 3. So I see that, and then I see a whole lot of the mainstream media and the rhinos and Democrats pretending like they're supporting Israel or supporting them, in my opinion, probably in the wrong way. And then I saw this footage from one of your friends, Pat Buchanan.
My friend.
On the American Anchor Baby, talking about there was some attack years ago in the 90s or 80s. And Pat Buchanan said, what do you think that those little boys whose sisters and mothers and whoever were blown up in this attack are going to grow up to be? And it reminded me of you talking about forgiveness and overcoming rather than becoming what you hate. And a lot of them have become what they hate and done worse to others, innocent people, than was done to them.
And so how do you see the war?
I see it as a whole lot of evil stuff happening.
Joel, come here. Can you just kneel right there? Stay down there.
No, come
Stay
here.
there. I have another final question. Kneel right here.
You can
still
sit.
be
You can sit.
You're not gonna be able to see me though.
Yeah, on this camera.
You can sit right there.
Yeah, sit right there. That's the shot. Can you sit
Don't be
right there?
shy.
That's the shot. Walk on by that camera, boy.
Don't trip over the camera again.
Yeah, just don't hit the camera. See, I see you.
Okay.
Look over this way. he like a kid driving a car. He want everybody to know it's him. Look over this way. What are you looking up there for?
I just want to make sure I'm in the shot.
You look.
Okay.
You are. You're totally in it.
Okay.
How do you see the war between Israel and Palestine?
Well, I don't really know too much about it. I'm just.
Joel is the host of the Joel Friday TV here on the network on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and one of the experts.
Yeah.
And
So.
you black.
Thank you for the plug. I don't know too much about what's going on, but I do agree with the fact that there's two sides to every story. So oftentimes, like I was talking about on my last episode 35 on my YouTube channel, oftentimes there's a miscommunication that goes on, and the miscommunication allows people to jump to conclusions. I don't know exactly where the divide happened, but I think there's also no point as well. I think that oftentimes it's unnecessary. But I do believe that there are people, like what Hassan's saying, I can agree that there are people in media who influence certain things and make it more one-sided that is also evil. So I agree with that. But I'm not, I just think that it's oftentimes pointless to even be having these type of wars.
Last quick question. Hassan, whose side have you taken? The Palestinian or Israel?
No, like Sean just said, it's about America. The problem is that...
Sure, Hassan, real fast, whose side have you taken? The Palestinian or Israel?
No one's.
No one?
Out of those options.
Those are people at the war right now, man.
Yeah.
Whose side between those two, whose side have you taken? Real fast, Hassan.
I'm not taking any side.
How about you, Nick? Whose side have you taken?
No side here, sincerely.
Whose side have you taken, Joel?
I don't know enough to pick a side, but I wouldn't take a side either. There's two sides to every story. Mama or daddy, you're basically asking mama or daddy. They both got issues.
Whose side have you
Which
taken?
one's mommy,
Joel?
which is daddy?
That's right.
I'd like to say no side, but I'm definitely leaning more towards Israel's defense.
And whose side have you taken?
Netanyahu.
BB.
But not certain other Israel people. The way that they talk on the media, I don't like them, but I like Netanyahu.
And the reason I asked that because I noticed that with the Christians and the Jews and the Palestinians and everybody, whenever a situation happened and the crowd start fighting one another, people who say they're not going to be drawn in again, they get drawn in and they take sides.
Yeah.
They're afraid to stand alone and observe what's happening. You know, what do you call those little planes they make now where they can fly over you?
Drones.
Drone. They refuse to be a drone. They get drawn in and they come up with these opinions. They don't know what the truth is. Why not be a drone?
Drone strikes.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Oh, I just think that, I mean, I've always...
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, but I've always, to further make that point, I've always believed that it shouldn't be a versus. It's
right.
a you and...
Because...
Like, yeah, your issues and my issues, opposed to your issues versus my issues. It only creates division.
I like your issue ain't my issue.
But I mean,
got my
like...
own issue.
Right.
That's what I'm saying about America.
Right.
Yeah.
Get him on mic.
Who?
This one.
What you say?
That's what I'm saying about America.
Nice.
You know?
It ain't our issue. Somebody else's problem, not our problem. And the fight is always between good and evil. That's why they're fighting.
Yeah, I don't think that we should share each other's problems. That's not the point I was trying to make. I think it's that it should be more so about that you got issues and I got issues, opposed to, oh, my issues are different than your issues. I just feel like two people who are fighting are two people with issues trying to solve it.
Yeah, I like it. Your issue, my issue, and my issue ain't got nothing to do with your issue, and your issue ain't got nothing to do with my issue. It's our issue.
Right.
Carry each other's burdens, Jesse.
What?
Galatians 6:2. Carry each other's burdens.
Right, by staying away from them. Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I got to get some calls.
Nice.
James, do we have it? You want to do
We
the
have.
chat before you leave real fast?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. My experts, folks. Can I hear from my experts? Okay.
Mig Mac America says, "Why? Hi Jesse. Why BLM supporting the Allah Abba people Hamas when it was the Arabs who sold the blacks into slavery back in the day, right?
Because they're against America. They're against America. That's why they're against Christianity and Judaism. They're against white people. It's all about that and nothing else. Thank you.
Also, where can I find the silent prayer?
www.silentprayer.video and rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. www.silentprayer, S-I-L-E-N-T, prayer.video and rebuildingtheman.com/prayer.
That handy man with a generous donation, laughing face emoji with tears. Hassan singing, reading Rainbow? I sent a YouTube video of somebody speaking about his mother. Very interesting. Producer at jesseleepeterson.com.
Thank you.
That's the correct email?
Yeah, producer at jesseleepeterson.com.
Someone bought a copy.
She did used to work at Reading. She used to do something with Reading Rainbow.
Who?
How does the person know that?
Who?
My mother.
Oh, your mother did?
Yeah. That's incredible.
It is. What the? Nice.
Can you murder someone without having anger? Asks someone.
No.
Not murder, yeah. Kill in self-defense, maybe.
Right.
Evil is real bought a coffee. This morning be like boom, boom, boom. Gaza on its way to becoming a parking lot for Israel tourists. These bombs from heaven, he says, are blowing the burqas off those mustached women. Chillin', thank you, man.
Thank you.
Chillin' lean bought a coffee. Jesse, is it possible to leave the body consciously? I'm not talking about suicide, but rather consciously and without anger, making your spirit leave your body.
I don't know. I wouldn't take that risk.
Powers that...
You might come back to you and somebody else there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that. I don't know.
Powers that bear with a diamond. Even Trump said Netanyahu let Hamas attack. Okay, well then I take back my siding with Netanyahu.
Somebody asked me, Hassan asked me at the gym the other day, who are you for on this war? And I said, Trump, Putin, and Netanyahu.
Nice.
My dream team.
My top three.
And they're like, what the? My dream team.
Henry Ford lives with a ninja guinea.
And that person said, I don't want to hear that. I'm a communist. A socialist, they said. I'm a socialist.
Wow. Was reported October 4th. 5 Israelis were arrested for spitting on Christians. Were they dancing too? He asks.
Amazing.
Henry Ford lives with the diamond. It's not anti-Semitic to say Israel's a bad friend, he says.
Thank you.
And thank you guys. Powers that Bear, Games for Rec, official be something. Appreciate your support. That's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all. Man. I just don't know where the time goes, folks. Maybe I need like a 4-hour show now.
Yeah.
I wanted so badly to get back to the cause, but I'm looking at the clock. I wanted to get all that in. I wanted to hear from my experts because I really didn't know exactly how they felt about everything. And so I wanted you to hear as I was hearing it. Jerry from Missouri, Charles from Texas, Rick from Virginia, Darrell out of Illinois. I am so out of time.
Or Daryl.
Darrell or Daryl, yeah.
Not sure.
Darrell from Illinois. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com. Thank you for your super chats and all that. I do appreciate your donations, your support. And get on that straight and narrow, folks. Rise above the foe. Become, what do you call the thing that just fly around?
Drone.
Be a drone and just observe. Don't get caught up with the crowd. I'm telling you, you're going to mess with your mind and you'll lose the truth. Because they'll tell you all this mess when it's just really good versus evil. It's nothing other than that. All right? Thank you all so much. Do the silent prayer. Go and forgive your mama and your daddy. And I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
Stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the move. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
You must know that so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And there, when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.
Thank you, JLP. An excellent